Welcome to Geektionary. My name's Corey Hales, and this is the geekiest podcast you'll probably ever hear, where I will try to teach you, along with my friends, about the nerdier things in life. Let's talk about it. Yeah, for sure. Alright, so, this is the letter H, Harry Potter, and I'm with Angela Haida, whose last name I've apparently, along with everybody else though, has been mispronouncing for, well, how long have I known you?
Well, that's my married name, so.
It is?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Saviskov, was that your own? Oh my god, I can't believe I remember that. Holy shit.
Which everybody also mispronounces, so.
Did I pronounce it right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you mispronounce that?
I don't know.
It's as it's
God
spelled. Saviskov, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do people pronounce it?
They just stumble until they probably hope I correct them.
Okay, like Sav.
Says Savska, the Russian one.
Ends with. Yeah. I completely forgot that. You were the first friend of mine that got married.
I'm divorced.
Yeah, first friend that got married and divorced as well. Yeah. You kept the last name though.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just felt like it.
A, it costs money.
Okay.
To change it back. And B, I just felt like, can I put my feet?
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like it would be going backwards if I changed it.
Okay. Yeah, well, but this isn't about your marriage and divorce. This is about Harry Potter, as I mentioned. And,
Is it though?
Well,
is this an intervention?
Yeah. I'm very disappointed in you. Very disappointed.
And now everyone will know.
Yep, the entire world. Well, the entire potentially dozens of listeners that I get if this thing gets successful. But we're recording in my parents' house back in Cranbrook. I'm not in Calgary this time, and it's much nicer than any of the other places I've recorded so far. There's no filth on the floor, which is a step up, which is good. Yet, yeah. Angela's eating, so we'll see. Harry Potter was, the first book was released in June 30th, 1997. That was Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And I immediately hated it. I never read the book, but immediately I was...
That's because you're a hipster.
I'm not... I'm not as much of a hipster as you seem to think, but... I was a pre-hipster. If it was popular, I hated it. So, but... Did you like it right off the bat?
I actually didn't read it until I saw the first movie.
Okay.
Which was 1999, is that right?
Good. 2001. November 14th.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking, whoa.
That's my cat. Well, yeah. It's 22.
Oh.
Which in cat years I think is about 154.
All right.
So he's an angry old bastard. Anyways, yeah.
Okay, 2001. I went and saw the first movie, and then, I just loved it. And I
started reading the books from there?
Yeah, I borrowed the books from my boyfriend at the time, his sister-in-law. Mm-hmm. And I remember staying up till about 2:30 in the morning trying to read the second one and thought, now seems like a good time to start the third one.
When it came out and was super popular, once it came out on DVD, my English teacher made us watch the movie, and immediately I was just like, I don't want to watch this fucking crap. F this. And
Harry Potter.
Yeah. It started out, and it's a fairly good movie, and I think that the series has only gotten better with each movie, because the first one is very much a kid's movie. Mm-hmm. And everyone after that they're like, oh, well, other people have to come and see these as well. Let's make it at least a little entertaining.
The ones who pay for the tickets?
Yeah. And, it got really popular, not just with, how old were you, would you say, when you started reading it?
I was 15, 16.
That's fine. Even, but it was kind of aimed for, early teens, though, eh?
Yeah, the idea, I think, is that if you started reading when you were 11, and you grew up with Harry, basically. This whole generation is now completely screwed because they don't know what to do with their life.
Yeah, they just have Twilight.
Nobody seemed to get that letter from Hogwarts.
Yeah. And did you hear it, though? I heard this a little while ago. I think it's in England, but it might be all over this, that a lot of people got owls for pets because of the Harry Potter thing. And then I guess they got bored of them and they just released them. Which, Yeah, there's a bit of a problem. I think it's in England. I think there's
Seems like an issue.
Small problem over there. Like, it makes me think you've seen Futurama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of pigeons, owls are the flying menace. So Futurama is, again, proven to be the best view of the future. Most realistic. Yeah, it's a series that I never another reason I didn't like it was because, I kind of look like Harry Potter, especially back when it came out. I had not a bowl cut, but something similar. Longer hair. Yeah, you remember. I had shaggy hair and bigger glasses, and I do have a scar on my forehead, which is faded a bit, but still there, so... Yeah, I hated that son of a bitch. Every now and then I used to refer to myself as Harry Potter's angry older cousin, that type of thing.
The bitter one?
Yeah, the bitter one. So yeah, the first book was released June 30th, 1997. Seventh and last one was Deathly Hallows, and on July 21st, 2007.
Hallows.
Hallows?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Hollows.
Okay. What's it matter?
Whose podcast is this?
Hey, shut up! I don't know shit. Hey, you be quiet. I haven't read any of the books. I've seen all the movies. For the most part, it's been a good experience, I'd say.
See,
yeah.
You have the benefit though. Like, if you watch all the movies and then you really like them, then you should read all the books and never ever watch the movies again. So be like, why did they do that?
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's just, what's the main difference, do you think, between the movies and the books?
They basically, because it is a Geektionary, right? So I totally bought, like, the whole wizarding film of Harry Potter book. That it was really awesome. Like, I should have brought it. You could take pictures or whatever. But it's basically, like, they just did an overview of the films, and they said that they had to take so much stuff out at the beginning, they decided to just follow Harry. Like, you don't get any other background story of any of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, Harry's kind of a whiny little bitch. Like, out of everybody in the series, I'm like, okay, yeah, Voldemort's trying to kill you, just get over it. Like...
Luke Skywalker's also a bit of a bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
If you watch, like, I think, if you want to make a successful film series, whether it's based on a book or not, the main character has to be a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Like, and the thing is, you don't realize it right off the bat. You watch the movie, then after a bit of time, you just think, like, what was up Harry's ass? Like, what was bothering him so much?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
There's just a lot, like, there's a lot in the book, and you can see more, like, in the series that she really did, like, put it all together.
Mm-hmm.
You got to the end, and you're like, holy shit. Like, this was foreshadowed, 6 books ago,
yeah.
Right? And what they didn't do, other than all that stuff in the movies, was they didn't really adapt that well to the screen, because they couldn't really, but just, I don't know, there's a lot of really interesting characters that you didn't get to see. And, I mean, super continuity errors.
Was it Sue Chen? Who's that? The Scottish Asian girl? What was her name?
Oh, Cho Chang?
Cho Chang. Sue Chen. Same thing. Yes, and just putting a little bit of racism into this. But racism is actually...
right. Well, it is, right.
The thing is, racism is actually a theme throughout Harry Potter, too, though.
Mm-hmm.
With the Mudbloods and the... Well, that's Voldemort's whole thing. He's basically wizarding Hitler.
Well, and he's such a hypocrite, because he's not pureblood.
No?
No, what a dick, hey? Like, his father is a muggle.
Really? So he's a self-hating... It's the equivalent of a self-hating Jew.
Exactly.
Wow.
He just, went crazy and then killed his father.
What happened to Voldemort's nose?
Apparently, it was just that he went through so many magical transformations that he became more snake-like.
Okay.
He pretty much destroyed his soul because he split it into...
Okay. Oh, yeah, with the...
Do we have spoilers here?
Oh, feel free.
To 8 Horcruxes.
It's the last movie was out, only last year on July 15th. Everyone's seen the movies or read the books by this point, and if they complain about spoilers, they can fuck themselves.
Yeah.
They've had a year. So,
so screw you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something that always confused me because it's never really mentioned. Like, and that to me seems like something that'd be mentioned. Like, even in, like, the Philosopher's Stone, or the Sorcerer's Stone, if you were American and stupid, that to me still seems like something that would have been mentioned. It's like, oh yeah, when Harry Potter fights Voldemort's face on the back of the other guy's head. Because that was
Because children's books are nothing if not creepy.
Yeah, and I understood then. I was like, maybe he can't form the nose because it is the back of the guy's head. But what was the second book? Second movie? Second book?
Chamber of Secrets.
Chamber of Secrets. Voldemort makes an appearance there, right?
No.
As Tom Riddle, though?
As Tom Riddle, yeah.
Okay, so then that's when he had a full face.
Yes.
And the third one was...
Prisoner of Azkaban.
That had much less to do with Voldemort at that time, didn't it?
Yeah, it was more like about the whole Sirius Black and that sort of twist.
He does show up. He's in every movie, at least for like a couple minutes, isn't he?
I don't know if he is in Prisoner. It's been a while since I've seen that one. He's not really in the book. Like, he doesn't... Because he's not like a person yet, right?
Yeah.
Not until the fourth one.
The fourth one was the one with Robert Pattinson.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Mr. Twilight himself, who gets killed there, and that was his first big movie, I think, too.
Yeah, actually, I saw an interview about him the other day on George Stroumboulopoulos.
Yeah.
And he said that was one of his big roles that he talked and stuff.
Was he proud of his role?
Handsome. I think he wasn't not proud. Like, it was just...
It was a job.
Like, it'd be so weird to walk in on the fourth movie of, like, this huge franchise.
He had a fairly big part, though.
Yeah.
He was, like, the hope of Gryffindor when everyone hated Harry Potter. Right?
Well, he was Hufflepuff, but yeah.
He was Hufflepuff?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to remember when I was writing up my notes. Obviously, it's Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw's the house that doesn't do shit, right? In the movies, at least.
In the movie, yeah.
Yeah, Ravenclaw, it's there, but they don't do anything.
Yeah.
I just...
I never noticed that, actually, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Cho Chang is a Ravenclaw.
So?
Cho Chang.
Hufflepuff, though, has more of an impact and more of a purpose in the movies, though, right? Than Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
Ravenclaw, like, Cho Chang is there and makes Harry confused for a bit, and that's about it. That's the purpose of Ravenclaw, is to stymie Harry Potter for a moment, and then move on.
Yeah.
But, what were we talking about?
Oh,
yeah. Still trying to get to the bottom of... so it was the fourth book. Voldemort shows up in that graveyard after he makes Harry Potter and Mr. Twilight appear in the graveyard.
Yeah.
And that was when he first appears fully, and there's no excuse for a lack of nose. Like, no back of a head excuse. So, I know Harry Potter watched his friend die, but you'd think, like, a little while later after he'd coped with Twilight dying, that he would just be like, what the fuck happened to his face? Like,
yeah, that doesn't really get mentioned.
No, is it mentioned in the book? Does it say specifically he has no nose?
No.
No?
They don't talk about that.
What do they say in it for his description?
He talks about his snake-like eyes a lot, like that his eyes are red and everything, and his flat nose.
Flat nose, okay. Yeah. So, like, maybe...
Yeah.
Could have been...
I think flatter. I think they did a good portrayal in the movie, but it's... that whole scene, I read that last 100 pages of the fourth book, because when I finished the fourth book, I had to wait. We were in grade 12. We graduated, and it came out the June, I believe.
Yeah, something like that.
So everyone's like, yay, graduation! I'm like, new Harry Potter. Because, you don't have a life in grade 12. Anyway, so I remember reading the last 100 pages of Goblet of Fire, 60 times. And that scene in the movie is just such a letdown.
Really?
That and the final scene of the seventh. What were they thinking, really?
The thing is though, with any book-to-movie transfer, almost every time, like 99% of the time, the book is always better.
Oh, yeah.
But that's also because it's in your imagination. And if your imagination isn't completely crippled, then you can usually pick up, you can envision something amazing. One thing that I did... Do you watch Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
The wildfire bit? Have you read the books?
Oh, yeah. I'm in the middle of the fourth book.
Yeah, it's slow, the fourth one, eh?
I was like, I'm going to take a break for a few days, and that was 3 months ago.
Yeah, it's taken me, over 6 months to get almost halfway, because I'm just like, it's so dull, but at the same time, it's very well written.
Yeah.
Like, you're reading it, when you're reading it, you're captivated, but nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, so with that, though, the wildfire scene, and this... I don't know when this will come out, so but
Oh, hold on a sec, because I've only watched the first 2 episodes of the second season.
Oh,
I already know what happens.
well,
but
yeah, if you know what happens, the thing is like in the book, it sounded fucking crazy when they blew up Stannis' ship with the ships with the wildfire, but I never pictured it like the TV show portrayed it. The TV show, in my mind, it did a lot better than the book, in my mind. Yeah, like it in the book, like it basically just sounds like everything just caught on fire.
Mm-hmm.
But this, like, everything caught on fire and then some.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's amazing, and the characters have the best look on their face when it's happening. Like, we did not expect this to happen. It's pretty good.
This wasn't in the script.
Yeah. Oh, you need to catch up on that show.
Yeah.
Do you torrent?
Yeah, I'm just waiting because Devin is like, oh, like I want to watch it all at once.
The second season's done.
Yeah, I know.
So download all the episodes, and have a marathon.
Yeah.
The second season, in terms of the creepy, unnecessary sex scenes, much reduced.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that happened with. Did you ever see the show True Blood?
I haven't actually.
I watched the first season. I liked it. Started watching the second season, and every episode had a long, awkward sex scene. Nothing was sexy about it. It was just unpleasant and just creepy, and I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm just like, this is making me feel really gross.
That's because vampires aren't scary anymore.
To me, Interview with a Vampire, not a scary movie, but a very good vampire movie. Mm-hmm. And obviously Bram Stoker's Dracula. Very good, you know? Mm-hmm. But I've never really liked vampires that much.
No, I used to, we watched the very first Buffy, the awful movie. And I went to bed with my hands wrapped around my neck because I was afraid that vampires were going to come get me in the middle of the night.
So the movie Buffy the Vampire Slayer scared you enough that you had to cover your neck?
I was quite young.
How young?
You know, like 2 weeks ago.
This was 2
No,
weeks?
I'm kidding. I was 10, or whatever when it first came out.
I think, that was, I think 98, something like that.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 96, 92. It was an even-numbered year in the 90s.
It's quite a discrepancy.
Yeah, I have no clue when it came out, to be honest.
Okay, well, it was before I was 12.
Okay.
Yes.
I've been watching horror movies since I was 9. Like, I was watching, like, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th. So, like, hearing someone watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer and then terrified, I'm sorry. I know I'm not normal, but like
no, I've watched other ones after. And I think it was just because I slept in the basement alone, and my stepdad's an asshole, and was like, they're gonna get you.
Oh, jeez. It reminds me of this Kids in the Hall sketch. I think it was Daddy Drinks. Did you ever see that one?
No.
It's I think it's that one. He's talking about how his daddy drank, and they would cut to Dave Foley. He'd have the mustache and all that, and he'd just, like, the lights would be off in this room, and then the lights come on, and he's, like, right up at the kid's face with this bottle and, like, a hammer or something, and it was horrifying. And I imagine that's what your stepdad did, except with, like, the big Dracula cape, the Dracula medal, because every Dracula has a medal for some reason, and the fangs is terrifying you. But anyway, back to Harry Potter.
Oh, right.
After this long tangent broke off.
We're going to cover the rest of the letters?
What? Oh, no. So, yeah, as J.K. Rowling created it, and that was when she was on welfare, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it welfare, or was it, like, employment insurance or something like that?
I'm pretty sure it was welfare.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but...
That I think is really, really motivational, too. I still am probably never going to read the books, but, that's...
I find it really funny that people say that. Do you know Erin McKenzie?
No.
Red hair?
No.
Worked at EV Games?
No.
Well, this story's going to go nowhere.
Boy
all
or
the people
girl?
Here that do know Erin McKenzie. He,
Oh, it was a guy. Okay.
Guy, yeah. He was reading, like, he reads a lot on the internet and stuff, and has heard, Harry Potter is just highly acclaimed, and, everybody should read it and sort of thing. And so he comes to me one day and he's like, so do you think I could use your books?
Use them.
Or, like, read your books, sorry. And I was just so excited. I'm like, yeah, he can. And he's like, okay, just calm down. I'm like, funny. Okay, here's the first 3. So he read them all, and he really liked them. I mean, I can't quote him too much, but yeah, he really, really enjoyed them. And I think you have to get past the first two. And that sounds really silly, because why should you have to?
The thing is though, people are so willing to do when someone says something's an acquired taste, like sushi, tea, or like beer, stuff like that. And I used to not drink at all because most liquor tastes terrible.
Yeah.
Beer, wine, everything tastes bad, but then you keep drinking anyway, and eventually starts to taste good. And so I don't see why something that's an acquired taste needs to only be like a literal taste, you know? And it sucks that it's 2 full books that you have to slog through, but the thing is that Lord of the Rings, the 3rd book, pretty boring.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't finish it. I skipped chunks of the book because I did not care about how every blade of grass waved
in the wind.
Yeah, as the Oliphant slowly trudged, not to the battle, but to lunch. You know,
got further than I got to the middle of the first book, and I was like, done.
The movies, in that respect, like the books are good, but again, also in the first Lord of the Rings book, there's the whole Tom Bombadil bullshit. Do you remember that?
No.
When the hobbits first leave the Shire, they come into a forest, and there's a forest guy named Tom Bombadil who has almost gay sex with them.
Oh.
And it's
how do I not
really
remember that?
Yeah, it's not like Tom Bombadil whipped off his pants. It's nothing like that, but they do have naked baths and lots of rubbing, and that's where they get their first swords.
Right.
And that's the whole point. The whole thing could have been done like in the movie, where they just end up at the place and then are given swords, as opposed to like chapters and chapters of weird homoerotic forest stuff with a creepy guy named Tom Bombadil who's constantly singing and encouraging people to drop their clothes on.
Well, with a name like that.
Yes, with a name like Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadick. So dumb.
Let's go fight with our swords.
Yeah. One thing about J.K. Rowling, though, have you ever heard of the movie Troll?
I feel like I have, but I don't know.
You've heard, more likely you've heard of the sequel Troll 2, which is considered
named?
Considered one of the worst movies ever made.
Oh.
It is terrible.
Okay.
But it has nothing to do with the first movie. It's just a completely separate movie that they made, and just like we know, I think the studios are like, this is pretty bad. We should put a 2 on it and say that it's a sequel to something. Let me tell you, this movie Troll was made in 1986, so let me just tell you some of the bits of it. The main character is named Harry Potter. He learns to be a wizard and has to fight a racist evildoer.
That sounds strangely familiar.
Strangely familiar indeed. Yeah, that's kind of where the similarities end, but that's a pretty heavy. That's the entire main focus of Harry Potter. He's not adopted or anything like that, or well.
They're clearly different then.
Yeah, yes, he's not adopted,
Orphans.
so therefore, yeah. No owls. Quidditch isn't mentioned. Yeah.
That would be amazing. You know, J.K. Rowling is coming out with an adult book.
Yeah.
It's been labeled, just so everybody's clear.
Okay.
And the main character, guess what his name is?
What? Harry Potter?
No.
Albus Dumbledore.
She's re-releasing. His name is Barry.
Yeah, Barry Slaughter.
No, I'm serious. His name is Barry.
Oh God.
I'm like, really?
What's this new book supposed to be about? Has any of that come out?
I can't. I think it has to do maybe it's a mystery or crime or something like that.
With wizards.
Yeah, no, there's no wizards.
I remember also one thing that bugged me, and when I first saw the Harry Potter movie, it bothered me too. You remember Fluffy? The Cerberus, the 3-headed dog? I saw that and I was just like, how the fuck dare she? Because I was so irritated that she took something from something else, which the thing is, that's the majority of fiction.
Yeah.
It's not all entirely just like making up completely new things, because that's impossible.
Yeah.
But I was young and I was dumb, and I was apparently just outraged that someone would dare take inspiration from something.
Mythology?
Yeah. Mythology that most kids probably didn't know about.
Well, did you connect the whole McGonagall? Her first name is Minerva.
No, I didn't. I know Minerva is a goddess, but what goddess of what?
Wisdom.
Okay.
Well, is that right? The Roman version of Athena?
Most of the Roman gods, weren't they planets? Like Saturn, like Jupiter is Zeus. Saturn, I think, is Poseidon.
Yeah, Neptune is... No, Neptune is Poseidon.
Yeah, Neptune's fucking hell. Yeah.
I'm going to have to look it up.
Yeah, you look that up and I'll figure out something else. Did you see any of the other sort of Harry Potter wannabe movies that came out?
No.
Like Aragon?
Oh, I didn't see that. I heard the books were good, and I was like, I'll just pass this one. But, I mean...
It's Star Wars, but with dragons.
What could go wrong?
Everything. It was a terrible movie. It was so bad. Another thing that they made was Percy Jackson.
Oh, I
and
love
the Olympians.
Percy Jackson.
I thought it was okay, but you can see how, like, people are like, that was definitely inspired by the Harry Potter movie. When that came out, they're like, we can make money off of our stuff too. This is fantastic.
Yeah. No, I saw that first movie, and it was me and Devin and 2 other people in the theater. And I don't know if it was that and, like, the combination of how incredibly cheesy they made the movie, but I was like, this is awesome. And I went out and bought all of the books. So
yeah, and the books are good.
I'm apparently really influenced by movies. I really enjoy them. Like, he does a really good job with them. They are for younger younger audience.
Teens, right? Yeah. Teen fiction. Which I don't think there is a point that other than like Goosebumps, I don't think there was any like really kids stuff that I read. I went from Goosebumps immediately to Stephen King.
That seems like a natural transition.
Yeah, my mom had this copy of Cycle of the Werewolf, which had illustrations in it as well. So it's just like reading this horror story about a werewolf and then turning this page and there's like disemboweled pigs and awful imagery, and I was like, this is amazing. I love this.
Thanks, man.
Stephen King has also written the only book that's ever genuinely scared me, which was It.
Oh, yeah, didn't see it, didn't read it. Don't like clowns.
No, and especially Tim Curry as a clown. He plays the clown in the movie. The worst. Absolutely horrifying. And the movie sucks, too.
Oh.
Except Tim
They're remaking it. I mean, of course they're remaking it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me interject here that, yes, I was right. Minerva is the Roman...
Goddess of wisdom.
Goddess of wisdom, poetry, medicine, commerce, weaving, crafts, and magic.
Okay.
Which is funny, magic, Minerva McGonagall. There you go.
Yeah, Magic McGonagall.
That's where I'm going here.
What was Flickwit? Flickwit was the midget. What?
Whoa.
I do this every fucking episode. He's the elf?
He's the Ravenclaw headmaster.
Yeah, but he's the one that teaches levitation, right?
He teaches the charms class.
Yes.
Leviosa.
Yeah.
Not Leviosa.
Fucking semantic bullshit.
Do you go on Reddit?
No, I avoid the sites. I know I should. I don't want to be involved with that stuff. I'm fine with learning memes after the case.
Oh no, like it's more of like a forum. People put memes, but there's
I know there's a whole bunch of like separate Reddits for separate like pop culture things and all that, but I lump Reddit in with 4chan, which I know is extremely unfair.
Oh yeah.
Because 4chan is the
sludge.
Yeah, I'm scared. I just realized that this is going to be on the internet, and I don't want to say too much bad about 4chan. But I will say about 4chan, though, they make some amazingly funny stuff.
Yeah, I've actually never been there.
Oh, the majority of memes come from 4chan.
Okay.
Yeah, and God bless them. But
well, there is a Harry Potter subreddit. Everybody should go there because it's quite an amazing group of people. I think they have like 20,000 subscribers or whatever, and like they have lots of good conversations about Harry Potter and stuff. Still.
Yeah.
So
like people getting into the deeper meaning of Ronald Weasley's red hair, stuff like that. Like it's a metaphor, of course, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say one of the complaints about the movie. There's a lot of complaints about them, but it's just that Hermione's way too hot. Like Emma Watson just blossomed, and they're like,
fuck you.
I know. I'm like,
Emma
really?
Watson is a pretty lady. And I'm happy that she's made a career.
That she's legal.
Yes, I'm extremely happy she's legal. Yeah. Are they really upset about Emma Watson being, like, not hideous?
I think so. People just, I don't know.
Hermione should be
like,
a dog,
one of the things I didn't like was, I'm like, wow.
You know what that is? I bet the majority of the people that are complaining about that are girls or nerdy guys.
Yeah.
Girls are like, I should be more attractive than this person in this book and all that bullshit. And nerdy guys are just like, I can't find a nerdy girl that's attractive. God damn it.
Yeah.
they exist, and the thing is it's natural to get bitter about sort of things like that, you know? Movies and television really give people a very, very poor reflection of reality.
Oh, yeah, it's very disappointing.
Yeah, like...
people are not that pretty.
No, and like the show Friends, that's a big thing for that. Like, they had... Those apartments they had were fucking huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Joey was a barely working actor. I don't remember what Chandler did. He had a steady job, though.
It's good that we don't remember.
Yeah. But, like, Monica was a waitress for a bit. Rachel was also, like, a waitress for a bit. And, like, they had these huge apartments making shit money. And Sex and the City as well. Like, what's-her-face? Carrie?
I've never...
Neither have I.
I'm not womanly enough, I guess.
Yeah, Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, okay.
Horseface herself.
Yeah.
She is supposed to be, like, a fashion writer or something.
Oh, okay.
And she apparently is able to spend all this money on these new clothes, and it's not like off the rack Walmart shit. It's like name brand. Like I don't know other than Versace, and I don't know what they make. I just know that Versace is a thing that exists.
Maybe.
But maybe. I saw this. I went to this one store a while ago. I was thinking of getting like a new collared shirt, and it's like this store called like Harry Rosen or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a fancy place, I guess.
It was like $300, and you had to leave them your shoes.
It was on sale for $340.
Holy.
And I was like, no, this is a fucking shirt. Like, I don't care who made it. I just saw it. I was like, I'm not buying shit from this place for a very long time and left. But I don't have a job that anybody from any TV series would ever have, though. It's just
Me neither.
Boring shit job.
Yeah, TV, it's just super unrealistic, and you know, in this generation, I think especially, when I say this, I meant ours, but even the one that's happening now.
Like the younger generation.
Like, they're so screwed.
Oh, yeah.
They watch TV.
Yeah. I think kids are, like, it's not just TV, it's the internet, it's all this stuff. I don't think, like, kids with cell phones before they're 12, which really bugs me. Like, who the fuck are you phoning? You're 8.
Yeah.
And it's that and the easy access to, like, porn and horrible things that you can see on the internet so easily.
Yeah, there's so much exposure.
Yeah. It's a big and terrible bag. But getting back to point.
Oh, right. Yeah. Harry Potter.
One thing I really liked...
have technology, apparently.
One thing I really like about the Harry Potter thing, like, is Daniel Radcliffe. Like, he's a good actor. And I like that he's tried really hard to avoid typecasting by taking roles in things that Harry Potter is extremely different from.
You mean nudity?
Yeah, you're thinking of Equus, right? Yeah. With him being naked with a horse.
Yeah.
But also, like, Woman in Black.
Yeah, I did see that.
What'd you think?
I don't actually get scared a lot during movies, and that one I had my hands over my eyes, like, a lot of the time, yeah. I think the other two movies that I was really afraid of was The Ring and Mothman Prophecies.
Alright. Mothman Prophecies?
Yeah, I don't know what it was.
I don't get that.
Yeah, like,
I don't know.
You know when you're in certain moods and things just, no.
You were watching it at the right moment.
And
I hated that movie. I hated it so much. I didn't find it scary. I found it dumb. I found it just irritating.
Well, fine.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You just have bad taste in movies, I guess.
Well, The Ring, I went to the theater and I was with some friends and I was watching and we were like, haha, like, horses freaking out. Ooh, the mustard's gonna fall out of the fridge and stuff like that. And something happened and we were both like...
This has gotten really serious really fast.
I think it was the movie that they, like, the clip that they watch. That's what got me.
Yeah, like, the distorted faces of the people scared to death really bothered me. Mm-hmm. And the video, like, specifically the part with the finger pushing down on the nails of the finger.
That's just terrible.
Oh, God, just...
Or when they, like, she's in the well and she, like, lifts up the hair. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
That's just, I can't even mention that to my friend and she's creeped out.
In that, they watch the movie, then they get a phone call, right?
Mm-hmm.
And does it...
7 days.
Yeah. My friends, Kristen and Steph watched it, and right when the movie ended, the phone rang.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's just fate conspiring against people. Yeah, Jesus, that's awful.
Where did this stem from?
Daniel Radcliffe being in Woman in Black.
Woman in Black, right.
Yeah.
He did a really great job, and I feel like he did because I may have watched some interviews of him, because I'm not obsessed with Harry Potter and everything. And he's, like, so hyperactive. Like, he just can't sit still and talks a mile a minute, and so he said that film was really difficult because he isn't talking, and he's, very somber.
Like, slow...
movements.
Little movements, yeah. It's I saw him in an interview once. You know who Tom Lehrer was? He was a professor that started doing comedy songs.
No.
And he did this song about the elements called The Elements, where he just names each one.
Oh yeah, and he was on the Graham Norton show.
Yeah, and he looked like a mental case because he's sitting there kind of rocking back and forth, just talking about, like, cadmium and somium and all this other stuff.
That was amazing.
It's you should listen to some Tom Lehrer, some of the stuff that he did. Like, he did it in like the 60s, but some of it's still really funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look up New Math.
Okay.
That's good. We learned New Math, so we don't know what old math is, but so it's kind of lost on us. But the thing is, it's just this funny little thing. It's pretty good. He eventually got to a point where he's just like, I'm done. I have no more new songs. I don't want to go to these places and sing the same songs every time. And he just quit. He was very successful as far as I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
sometimes that's the best time to quit.
Yeah, like with Breaking Bad going into, I think there's just 2 more seasons left.
Oh, okay.
And then they're done.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with them being canceled. That's just when they're like, we're done in 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's good. 'Cause
yeah.
Like some shows like Friends
and Dexter
should have ended. Yeah.
Yeah, like I like Dexter, especially the John Lithgow season. Did you see that?
I actually have never seen.
Oh.
I have a hard time watching TV. Like if it's too intense, like Battlestar Galactica, love the show. I have to like breathe deep when I'm watching it because I'm like, okay, like
why?
I don't know, like it's just super intense.
That's
for me,
weird.
So.
I don't watch a lot of like TV on TV. I download a lot of stuff though, like Mad Men, Eureka, Warehouse 13, just random shows like that, right? Mostly nerdy stuff. But
weird.
Yeah, very strange. Who would have thought it? But the thing is I've had this conversation with a couple of people because some people that I know are supportive of the idea that in 2 seasons they're done, and some people are just are frothing at the mouth with rage about that. Yeah.
See, that's a show I watched the first episode. Devin loves the show, loves Bryan Cranston.
Good.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And I watched the first episode and I was like, does his wife know? Like, when's she gonna know? He's like, I'm not gonna ruin it for you. I'm like, no, you need to tell me.
It's also just so. It's a solid drama, but it's also a really funny show in an extremely dark way, which... And some of the stuff's not so dark, it's just like... I think in the first episode when he's driving home, to a surprise party, and he's trying to get the glove box closed, and it won't close. It's just this constant... It's a small, stupid thing, but it's like kind of realistic, and I find it really funny. And, yeah. But Bryan Cranston's awesome.
Yeah.
So
if he ever listens to this,
if Bryan Cranston, if you
doing
ever,
what you're doing,
you should keep doing what you're doing. If you want to be a guest on the show, I can promise that it won't be a good episode. It'll be a lot of me saying like, "You work a lot, yeah, man, you're super good." It would be like Chris Farley on that old Saturday Night Live. Yeah, that was awesome.
So back to Harry Potter.
Yeah, this is kind of winding up. The 4 houses: Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin. Which I know you've probably done a number of tests trying to figure out which house you belong to.
No.
I'm going to guess, simply by the way those tests are made, that you were probably Gryffindor.
I've never been Gryffindor.
Really?
Yeah.
Slytherin?
I have been all other 3.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Pottermore?
Oh, that sounds familiar.
That
That was not creepy at all.
Pottermore, it's kind of a disappointment because I think a lot of the fans were really excited, but it's sort of like an online encyclopedia. That's what we thought anyway, and it's a site that you had to stay up late. Not that I totally didn't do this on one of the 5 nights to get into the beta.
Yeah.
And yes, totally did that. And then you go along, and right now they just have the first book on there. But she's put all of like the information that she has about the first book. So you get a backstory for characters like
that otherwise had no backstory.
There's just no room for it in the books.
Okay.
And you do each chapter.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like interactive, so you can click on things and you collect things throughout each chapter.
Okay.
So you get to I think it's chapter 7 maybe, the sorting hat.
Yeah.
Where Harry's sorted and then you get sorted.
So it's like a combination like the book, encyclopedia, and game.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually haven't really been on it since I did the first book because there's not really, like, they had a lot of bugs, and I think it got pushed back, so people were upset that they couldn't get in because they missed the beta, and so now it's open to everyone, but doesn't have the next, 6 books in it, so.
Okay. So what is the most common house that you've been sorted into by the perpetually drunk sorting hat?
Well...
Hufflepuff!
Yeah. Huffle I usually get either Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw.
Okay, the two.
Yeah, so on the Pottermore, I'm in Hufflepuff.
Okay. Hufflepuff, Honey Badger.
Yeah. I was actually, I was like, oh, really? But, because they get a bad rap. But
why do they get a bad rap? Like, I looked online, they stand for hard work, patience, justice, and loyalty, which seems like a pretty solid...
Yeah, all the dumb things.
Fuck off. Yeah, patience is like, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah. No, I think it's just one of the big things that are, like, they're the group that gets made fun of, like, oh, Hufflepuff. But
it's because it's a stupid name, and, like, before, one thing I gotta ask, like, do you associate with the Badger at all? Do you don't give a fuck?
Well, maybe sometimes, maybe.
Yeah. Awesome. Honey Badger don't give a fuck.
Yeah, exactly. I actually, I will interject a story here for you because
sure.
I went to, in Florida, when the Wizarding World of Harry Potter opened. I was there on the first day.
Wow.
And waited in line for 6.5 hours to get into the park.
Jesus.
And yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like, even if you don't like Harry Potter, never read it, you just go in and everybody's so excited because this is like a dream come true. You walk down Diagon Alley and, you can get your wand and there's a demonstration and you get butterbeer and you get to go in the shop with candy and everything. And they did a good job. So
that's really awesome.
The next day we went back to Universal to do like other things that we got to stand in for 6 hours while we waited.
Yeah.
And we decided to go to the IMAX and watch a movie. And we came out and it was pouring rain. And I mean, I don't know, everybody in Florida apparently is afraid of rain. So they left the park and Devin says, we should go see if we can get in, like if there's a lineup. The day after opening day, thinking like, no, there's going to be a lineup.
Even if there's rain, people will be there.
Yeah, there's no lineup. I have a picture. Devin is just like, fuck you, Ange. Like, we waited all day yesterday. Now there's no lineup.
That's funny.
So
that story reminded me of two very sad things. First one, at the last comic convention, I live on the other side of town, so I was like, I need to get there early because I don't want to be in line all day just to get in. And that was one of the reasons I was one of the few people that were allowed in. Because, but anyway, I was, I think, 8th in line.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got there. It opened at 10, and I got there at about 8. I was just like, I was like, no, there'll be a line. There'll be a line at 8. I'm fine with that. And to get there, not really much of a line. And I'm just like, this is, oh, God. But it was a decent show. But the other sad thing, I know I should have got this fairly early on, but it took me until I think the 5th, 6th movie to understand that Diagon Alley was diagonally. It did not click with me at all. It took me, they mentioned going into another alley which had some other name that was a word, and I was just like, oh, that's cool.
Nocturne Alley?
Huh?
Nocturne Alley?
Yeah, and then I was just like, wait a second. Oh my fucking... Yeah, I was just like, I am the stupidest guy ever. The last movie that I saw was, I saw it in theaters, the second part of Deathly Hallows.
Okay, yeah.
I have never felt more alienated in a movie ever.
Why?
I'm there with my friend Tony, we're watching it, and like, stuff's happening, and like, a character in the background will make a small motion, and the entire theater bursts into laughter. And I'm just like, nothing has happened. Why are you laughing?
Why are you laughing?
And just stuff like that. What's the Longbottom? He shows up at one point, the crowd just goes fucking wild, and I'm just like, whoopty shit, of course he's gonna show up. He's been in every movie.
Yeah.
And then at the very... I also got extremely alienated. I made some people hate me, because at one point, Voldemort cast a spell.
Yeah.
Like a fucking spaz. Just like this crazy flail and this awfully stupid noise, and I just started like laughing, and the people in front of me just look behind and just like give me the dirtiest look. Like, this is a serious moment, man. He's casting a bad spell, and I'm just like,
shit's happening.
Yeah, shit just got real. At the very end, and again, spoilers, but who gives a shit? Okay, Harry Potter's defeated Voldemort. Good's triumphed over evil. He's walking along. No one seems to give a shit. And that bothered me at first, but someone explained to me, it's like, you do realize that a lot of people just died, right? They're not all going to be parading and, like, throwing shit. You know, they went through a fucking moment, you know?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the part. The only person that seemed to care was Hagrid, of course, who comes up, hugs him, turns around, and walks toward the bridge. And in my head, I just pictured him going to the side of the bridge, stepping up and jumping to his death.
Yeah, I know.
I told you about that. And I told Tony, and him and me are just fucking guffawing, like, till the end of the movie, just making more people hate us. But
you know, like, I'm gonna have a beef about the end of this movie, because I think if you read any of the books, read the last one. Like, I don't recommend reading just the last one, but if you do, because they don't really give Harry enough credit in the movies that he's figured shit out. Like, he just seems kind of like a dumbass kid, right? And the Hallows, if you remember, there's the resurrection stone, the wand, and the cloak, and that's actually. That, combined with Dumbledore's backstory, is a big part of the 7th book. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, you have all of these people that have been helping Harry along, and then, you know, you have the Great White Wizard, right?
Yeah.
Who dies, who I was, like, really upset about. Mm-hmm. And in the books, you find out stuff about Dumbledore that you didn't know that make him kind of an unsavory character. And because it's all in Harry's perspective, you see a lot of, like, doubt there. Like, well, maybe I didn't really know him, and maybe I don't know what I'm doing, and, like, why the hell didn't he give me information that I needed, right?
Yeah.
And so, one of the things that they don't really touch on in the movie is just how amazing it is that Harry is the possessor of all of the Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
He's still not an evil person. He's still not trying to conquer death. He accepts death. And he goes with it, you know, like, as in the cloak with the story of the 3 brothers, and accepts death, right? And the fact that Voldemort kills him and he sacrifices himself, you know, super Jesus moment there. I don't know, like, I just felt like they didn't convey that in the movie as well. The other thing that's really stupid is that in the book, Harry takes the Elder Wand and he goes up to the office where Dumbledore's portrait is. Yeah. Super, like, sweet scene, because, you know, he says to Dumbledore, I dropped the stone in the forest. I don't intend to go look for it. And you know, Ron is like, you know, like, what? And he says, I don't want to keep the wand. Mm-hmm. And they do that in the movie. Ron's like, you know, the unbeatable wand. And he says, I like my wand. And then he uses the Elder Wand and he repairs his wand. Yeah. He doesn't fucking throw it off a bridge after he snaps it. Yeah. Like, every single person that has read the books was like, you didn't repair your wand, Harry! Like, what are you gonna do? Oh, so bad.
Well, yeah, we should probably wrap this up. There's 3 things that I just want to cover. First of all, Harry Potter's dad was a dick. He was an asshole.
Oh, yeah.
He was a piece of shit. I'm just gonna say that. Dumbledore being gay, what do you think about that? Were you horrified and upset like so many Christian mothers?
Oh, God, no.
Did you give a shit at all?
No.
Do you think anyone should give a shit at all?
No.
Who cares if an old man likes cock? Of course. Yes. I heard someone saying that he's probably had sex with the majority of like the teachers that were like, you know, the crazy old dude that was in a chair in that one movie. He was Tom Riddle's.
Slughorn.
Yeah. They're pretty positive those 2 were a couple for a bit.
No.
Oh, definitely.
No.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so finally, also, thank you for talking with me. Thank you for reminding me at the wedding that I did actually have someone to record with here. And yeah, that's been Geektionary.